Good evening, Raskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins of the current Rust store, make comparisons to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much each of these skins are likely going to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments? Are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. So this is Easter week 1 for 2025, and I made very quickly in my predictions video, in my Rust rotation video, I basically said people don't care about Easter. So do not expect that many sales, and do not expect these skins to do a good enough job of retaining their value. You should be prepared for that. But some of the things that were accepted, they were skins for items we don't really get that much of. So, oh, hang on a minute, take a bit of a step back. Maybe things could work out quite nicely as investments. So, with the first 24 hours of sales, yeah, wasn't that much. Top selling skin was the Rooster Mask. That is the Deer Skull Mask / Bone Helmet. I don't know which is the right term, Deer Skull Mask or Bone Helmet. Anyway, there's only 7 of these that exist, and I only got 6,450 subscribers. That's it. Okay. And it immediately drops off to 5,000 for the Easter Chick fridge. That's going to sell less than its hammer. That's ridiculous. So, okay, you know what? Maybe things could be pretty interesting as time goes on. But I'm still unsure about Easter, right? I've seen it happen many times in the past. You could go back to previous Easter Rust stores and see how those skins are currently holding up. The vast majority, not good. So, okay, fair enough, point made. But yeah, the sales here, very tame compared to some previous weeks that we've seen. So let's now hop over to here and get a good look at the current sales. And to really get to, just really get the point across, it is a fair bit later than 48 hours, all right? And the sales still don't look like that much. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad thing for investments. A lack of sales, but potential strong interest as time goes on, can lead to prices improving ever so nicely. But is that actually going to happen? Well, we'll discuss that in a fair bit. Let's go ahead now and figure out what these are likely to sell by Thursday. So, Rooster Mask. We're talking about this separately from the Poncho for a good reason. I'll elaborate that in a bit. But yes, this is the Deer Skull Mask / Bone Helmet. There's only 7 of these that exist, and they're all in the positive. Now, that one's only slightly, but the point still remains. We don't have that many skins for the Bone Helmet / Deer Skull Mask, and it is a fun, goofy-looking set. It does look very silly. A fun, little primitive set that I think maybe a lot of people would appreciate as time goes on. Well, that Deer Skull Mask right there doesn't look like it's going to be selling that much. And the previous skins that we had accepted in the past, well, they did over 35,000 subscribers each. And they are doing quite nicely at the moment. So you're going to sit there and say, oh, is that going to be an easy instant profit? You can't just assume that, but things are kind of lining up very nicely for it. Let's put it that way. Now, next year's Easter, maybe we'll see a collection continuation, some burlap clothing, hide boots, leather gloves, who knows? Will it stay primitive? Will it expand? We don't know. We can't worry about that too much because that's not for another year. It is an Easter skin, so you have to take that in mind. So over to here now. Let's just get a good look at the sales, okay? 6,500 subscribers almost. Do we have anything that we can compare to? Is there anything that we could look at and do a nice little comparison? We've got Deep Ruby Crossbow here, so you know what? Let's go ahead and do a nice little comparison with that, because that did about 6,600. So over to here, is it? Oh, it's the previous week from here. That reached up to 17,000 subscribers, and you know what? I still feel like that's maybe just a little bit too much for what the Deer Skull Mask is probably going to do, but that's still significantly less compared to those other Deer Skull Masks from 2 years ago. Actually, no, it's 3 years ago. Just to remind myself, it's 2022. Yep, wow, oh, cool. Again, we really do not get many of these, so don't assume we're going to see tons of them appearing on the workshop afterwards, but you can't rule out the possibility. But yeah, there's the point. Lack of sales, but if I were to give you a strong guess, a good estimate, I think I'll sit here and say between 14 to 17,000 subscribers. Maybe it picks up quite a bit of momentum because that is an abnormal skin. We will be chasing after that Wednesday night. I will be on stream. Look in the description. You'll see links to all my socials. And Wednesday night, I will be on stream. I think I might be doing a pretty good bargain in it because these sales, they really don't look like much. And I think they could have a pretty good, interesting future ahead of it. Now, last year, we saw like the Easter Chick hammer being accepted. And because we got like next to no hammers back then, that ended up not selling that much. I only did like 14,000 subscribers, and because people liked it, and because we weren't getting that many more skins in Rust stores, that went all the way up to $7. I don't think that's going all the way up to $7, but I can see it nice. I can see it being nice and profitable. So 14 to 17,000 subscribers, I think that's what I'll land on. Okay, cool. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll approach it Wednesday night. And by all means, if you want to buy one for yourself, treat yourself. Appreciate it. And as I said, maybe we'll see a continuation next year. But 14 to 17,000 subscribers. Easter Chick Fridge. So I just briefly mentioned that, the hammer last year, only 14,000 subscribers. This is looking like it's going to sell less than that. Now, we have to just kind of make everybody aware that we're getting a lot more fridges being accepted now, okay? Over the past month, we've seen 4 being accepted. It's a bit maddening, but considering the recent cooking update we had, it's not too surprising. But I am expecting potentially to see another one next week, another fridge being accepted in Easter week 2. Halloween, Christmas, I think we're probably getting at least 10 different fridges this year. Maybe we'll get even more, who knows? But they are no longer like a role-play item. You quite literally kind of need it. I mean, if you care about like pies and food and whatnot, it's more necessary, all right? So, okay, why don't we go ahead now and actually try and figure out how much this is likely to sell by, next Thursday. So back over to here, 5,000 subscribers. Now, if we were to make, a nice little comparison, well, literally just the previous week, we had the Deep Ruby Tools and the Ultramarine Locker with 5,000 subscribers. So how did they turn out? So let's just go back to the previous week, and yeah, quite the drop-off. 11,000 subscribers, 10,500 subscribers. So with a fairly reasonable estimate, I'm going to sit here and say 10 to 12,000 subscribers for this. But that is still a little bit more compared to the previous fridges that we've had. 9,800, 9,300, for 14,000. Well, that one's a bit different. These two more specifically. But the sheer silliness of the Easter Chick fridge, it's not too elaborate in terms of its design. It is just quite literally a gigantic chick. And people do be appreciating that. And next year, we'll very likely see another one, and another one, and another one, and another one every single Easter. But yeah, people like it, people appreciate it. Is it going to retain that $2 price? Bit questionable if we keep seeing more and more fridges being accepted. It's abnormal. We could chase after it Wednesday night. 10 to 12,000 subscribers might be okay. But if we keep seeing more Easter Chick skins every single year, okay, we'll see how it goes. But I would like to do a barter first, then consider if I approach it and make some purchases. So, okay, we'll leave it at that. Choco Launcher. Well, you're selling very similar to Rooster Poncho, so let's just quickly go back over to here and, wow, okay, you're kind of neck and neck, and you still are, basically, so I guess we can look at both of these. Okay, so I obviously kept this separate from the mask. Based on the many ponchos we've had, like, God, do you remember when the Arctic poncho came out? And that was like there's a big gap between poncho acceptances, so we used to hardly see any of them ever being accepted. Arctic camo poncho appears, suddenly the floodgates open, we got tons of them. But so many of these are in the negative, and I just couldn't help but assume that's going to struggle, whereas that over there, the mask, was going to succeed quite nicely. But it is selling quite a fair bit less compared to this, and you do need both of them to have that fun, silly little set, so okay, you know what, fair enough, maybe the poncho could still work out quite nicely. And over to here, Choco Launcher. We just don't get that many rocket launcher skins in Rustors anymore, do we? Now you might point out last year's Dragon Rocket Launcher. You know what? Fair enough. That's a cool design. That was made by Face Punch. It's not like a standard normal skin. So we have had Twitch drops as well. But if you take a look at all the rocket launchers, quite a lot of them are doing quite alright. And quite a few of them, unfortunately, are still doing pretty badly. Now this Choco Launcher, in terms of its design, it's not too crazy. It's a big chocolate bar, basically. Okay, well, I mean... Sure, but the sheer lack of sales definitely could be helping out quite a fair bit. So you know what, at the very least, let's now just go over to here real quickly and find out, how much is that likely to sell. So if I was to just compare to some previous weeks, I think Cryo Fridge is probably a good shout. So, you know what, let's go back over to here. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And there you go. That only did 9,844 subscribers. So hop it back over to here. At the current rate these are selling, you know what, I think I'll do 9,000 to 11,000 subscribers for these two. So yeah, Poncho's selling about a third less compared to that, potentially. And only 9 to 11,000 subscribers for a rocket launcher coming out in 2025? Well, the design isn't like super crazy, as I've already said. Maybe people are more than happy to keep their older skins or their Twitch drops and whatnot. Hey, we'll talk more about that on Wednesday night, because unfortunately, that is not abnormal, but the Poncho is, so, okay. 9 to 11,000 subscribers isn't excessive, still could work out quite nicely as time goes on, and if we do not see any more rocket launcher skins, well, you know what? As time goes on, people probably look for options, and maybe they'll just happily stick with that, so, okay. Fair enough. That's not too bad. Let's now go ahead and talk about the Hatch backpack, and, oh, that is a bit of a drop-off there, almost 1,000. So let's go back over to here. That had 4,200 subscribers. Is there anything that we can compare to? Is there anything that seems quite reasonable? I mean, you could look at the death metal fridge. All right, yeah, cool, that'll work. So over to here, 3 weeks back, if I can recall. And yes, that also just about went over 9,000 subscribers. So for the, this Easter backpack, the Hatch backpack, I still find it very funny. He's got like 1,000 yards there. Oh. He only just got born and, well, only just hatched. He's in the world and he's already scared of it. But over to here, it's an Easter themed backpack, and I'm not very much convinced with backpacks in general. So many skins accepted in such a short amount of time. Only a few of them in the positive compared to the many that are in the negative. And I'm pretty sure we'll still keep seeing some more Twitch drops and whatnot. So in regards to this, I'm still not very much convinced. If that's going to probably do, you know what? 8 to 10,000 subscribers? Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I still don't think it's going to really hold up that well. And you know what? I should point out, what did we have somewhat recently? Christmas. We have 3 Christmas backpacks here. Down 48, down 51, down 62. I just can't help but assume that's going to follow suit. However, it is goofy. But nah, still, I think it's going to go down in price. Holiday themed skins. Once it's out of season, do people really care? Well, there you go. So we'll leave that then. Looking at these 2 skins, they're very similar in terms of sales. Let's just go back over to here. And they were also very similar here as well. So you know what? I think I might just do both of them at the same time. So if I was to look at something and see what we could compare to, trying to find a nice comparison. We could probably do Minicopter Sap. Could do Ice R. Yeah, I think we could probably do that. You could also look at the kilt, the tire tier 2. So yeah, I think I'll go look at all of those. So we're going to go over to here. And what do we see? Oh no, so tire tier 2 was here. And that did 9,000 subscribers. Yep, basically that. And then over to here, we have the SAP that only did 8,600 subscribers. And then over to here, we have the SAR that only did 8,600 subscribers. So you know what? I think we could just say 8 to 9,000 subscribers for these 2 weapons here. And for the M249, even then, I don't think that's going to hold up very nicely. I'm still expecting that's just going to be better off a 60 cent to 80 cent buy order. And when you look at all of these, so many of them down in the negative. Oh. But yeah, it's a matter of how often are you even using an M249. There you go. Which justification to own skins. There you go. So, alright, fair enough. We'll just kind of put that aside. But this Divine Bloom AK-47, I really didn't want to kind of bring this up so early, but the jungle update is coming out on May 1st. And, well, let me just say, I've got like a whole section that I want to add to this video where I talk about some of the clothing and armor that's green, because that's been bought out. Like, that has been bought out insanely. And we've had this discussion quite recently about green AK-47s being used with green clothing and armor. I can't help but assume this actually might get appreciated. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that's going to only have 8 to 9,000 subscribers, I kind of get the feeling it actually might have a fun turnaround and work out quite nicely in the future. So when I look at all these AKs that you see here, let's just look at them by highest price. And let's just point out all the green AKs. Because when we see this jungle update come out, I get the feeling people also jump in and buy some green weapons, or more specifically green AKs. And you might notice that green AKs actually do a pretty good job in terms of retaining their value. So if I could just scroll up, what do I see? Sunken Treasure. Were you green? I actually don't remember. You're reasonably green, and you're holding up your value quite nicely. So, okay, you know what? $2 there, that's okay. Scroll up a little bit more. I want to find the military camo, sitting there comfortably at $3. And then over to here, I think we have the Fish AK. Like, I think it's already happening. I think these are starting to get bought again. So things are looking pretty cool there, and if you keep scrolling up, you'll then eventually find some other green AKs. I can't remember what the one I'm looking for is. There is another one. I can't remember it. I just want to move on from here. Point is, green AK-40s tend to do work out. They tend to work out quite nicely. They retain their value. They seem to do pretty good. And with this update literally just around the corner, I can't help but assume that actually might have a fun. It might work out quite nicely. I really do think that with a sheer lack of sales and next to no other green AKs, that very likely might just bump up to $3. Not a huge profit, but still a perfectly fine, solid profit. So we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. It's not abnormal, bit concerning, but probably could work out very nicely. Much better compared to the standard AK-47 skin. So, okay, fair enough. Right then, let's just close these. And now let's talk about the Sweet Treat hoodie and pants. So maybe in the future we'll see more Sweet Treat clothing and armour skins being produced, or more specifically armour, Tier 2, Tier 3, boots and gloves, we'll see. But these sales are really low, and I just can't help but point out it's probably due to a sheer lack of interest. Now, some people did ask me, hey, can we test this out for Desert Camouflage? It's not that good, unfortunately. So let's just go over to here. We can see these only did 2,300 subscribers each. And unfortunately, I don't really have much that I could compare to other than maybe a Hyperstar, which did 2,800 subscribers. So maybe we'll just look and see how much that sold after a week and then knock down the numbers a bit. So if I could just go all the way back to, what, March 6th? Is it that far back? Yes. All right, that ended up with 6,000 subscribers. I think that the Sweet Treat clothing is probably only going to do... I think it's going to probably only do 4,500 to 5,500 subscribers. I was considering going all the way up to 6. I don't really think it's going to go that far. So yeah, maybe I might be a little bit wrong, or maybe I might just be around perfect. But yeah, I don't expect many sales. And yeah, that looks like it's just about going to match up with the burlap clothing from the previous year. Huh. Yeah, that didn't really seem to have that much interest either, unfortunately. And if we did see more primitive skins being produced, that could have bounced up again, but no, it didn't happen. So, okay, well, that really ain't that much. But I don't think it has the interest either, and they are not abnormal. So that's a bit unfortunate. Then we have the Easter Chicken small box, and I'll be honest with you, we could go through the whole rigmarole of, like, you know, saying that was... I should have done all of these together. I just realised that was actually ahead of the other one. But that's going to be the same. That is going to be 4,500 to 5,500 as well. Sorry about that. It doesn't matter. It's not getting any sales. I have seen some previous Easter small boxes in the past, and they have not done a very good job of retaining their value, unfortunately. So scroll. There was a glow-in-the-dark one. It's actually only down by 6%. That's not too bad. But then we had the non-glowing one. It's 90 cents. Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, it's a very blatant Easter themed skin, as you can see right there. I just don't think it's going to hold up, unfortunately. So with that, low sales across the board. Yes, very, very low. Oh dear. But again, in certain instances, it could prove to work out very favourably for the skins. All right. So we'll see how this goes on. Maybe they don't sell. Maybe they sell even less. We'll wait and see. All right. We'll wait and see. So okay. That's nice, that's cool, but we should talk about certain things that are happening as of now. So, Jungle Update, we know exactly when that's coming out now. So if we could just quickly navigate over to here, we have we've got confirmation right here that it's coming out on May 1st. And on Orc Free, you could go look around right now if you so wish. I have done just that. You've probably seen the videos I've been putting out. Basically, Friday night, I spent so much time just putting down sleeping bags, towels, wearing various different green clothing and armour, testing out what doors work nicely with the brand new jungle building skin. Yeah. I have a lot of stuff, and I can sit here and tell you, like, pretty much every single bit of green clothing and armour works perfectly as camouflage in this. I'm not joking. I've even put out I made a clip, actually I got to put it together, but I've got a clip, or 2 or 3, where I make like the cheapest possible green set. So I'm talking everything you can wear being green, so boots, gloves, tier 3, kilt and whatnot. I went for look for the cheaper stuff. It's still effective. It's still like useful. So if we could just quickly navigate over to here, I have all of this to show. So yeah, here's the sale kilt. Keep an eye on this. This is the cheapest green kilt, and we do show off in my special little video where I compare Forest Raiders and Reptile Hunter and a budget $20 green clothing and armor set. We use that. It works perfectly fine. That's not going to be $1 forever. I think people might be jumping onto that. I think all green clothing and armor is susceptible for buyouts, and we've only got maybe like 2 weeks. So let's just talk about like some other skins here. UFO. I used this in the super cheapo set, and yeah, I think that's starting to climb up a little bit. As time goes on, it probably will go up even higher. But both of these pieces right now, $1 to $1.50. Over to here, Trakmer face mask. I used this in the $20 set in my special little short video. That is $5. It was already $5. It was a nice cheap alternative option to Forest Raiders. I really do think that's going to go up even higher. Like $5 now, but you just wait. 3 weeks time, it's probably doing even better. And funnily enough, Trakmer gloves. Wha-bam. Considering that this is like the only other green road sun gloves we have, that has like doubled in price. Yes, it has. Because I think Forest Raiders road sun gloves right now are like $30, $40. We'll look it up in a second, don't you worry. But yeah, wow, okay, cool. Over to here. Franken face mask hasn't changed that much, but the chest plate it did, because that got bought out. Yeah, I showed that off of my special $20 set. Not the face mask, because I used this instead. But that, yep, people do be appreciating. People have bought that out, and now we have Reptile Hunter. The prices here haven't updated, but when you look and see like the chest plate's now pushing up to above $11, the face mask is apparently listed at $33.50. Now that's the lowest listing. Doesn't necessarily mean it is $30, but I don't see any cheaper listings. So, and here's the hilarious thing: compare it to the Forest Raiders face mask. Reptile Hunter is apparently more valuable than that now. I thought Reptile Hunter was supposed to be the budget option. Or it's just the face masks. If you compare the chest plates, you'll see that this is actually $21, almost $22. So you get the point. Green stuff is getting bought out. It is appreciated ever so in the jungle. I mean, I think this is going up even higher. So just real quick, I want to see what are the Forest Raiders gloves selling for. So over to here. This was $400. I don't think it'll be staying at that price. I think we'll be seeing a new all-time high price in the summertime. But here's the gloves. Oh wow, they are $40. I was wrong. They are $50. They are $50. Yep. So yippee, jungle update. It's madness. Oh, it's madness. But yeah, let's just quickly close that. And just quickly look up Forest Raiders right now. Now, SCMM, unfortunately, is a bit slow to update all its prices, but I'm pretty sure it's probably updated enough to realise that Forest Raiders has gotten a little bit more valuable. Okay, it's not showing that, unfortunately, as of now. Actually, no, it is, because it's $50 there. Okay. But yeah, look at this again in 3 weeks' time and see what the price is then. I've also been informed that the deplorables are getting bought out as well. So that's $2. It's not that much different. And then that's $2.60. I think people have, yeah, well, no, it is an improvement. It's an improvement. It's just still kind of almost the same. So we only really care about the boots and the gloves and the tier 3, tier 2, hoodie and pants and whatnot. The clothing and the armor, basically. So, okay. Reptile Hunter. I looked at this the previous night, and this was $50 for the full set. It's now $81. Oh my. Okay, so I like to point out there was attempts in the past for some boots and gloves. Do you reckon the skin creator might, I'm just saying, do you reckon he might make another attempt just in time for the update? I have knocked on his door. I've knocked on the door, Mr. Himmick. I think he's going to give it another shot. We'll see what happens next, all right? We'll see what happens next, but yeah, it could go up even higher. So I've shown you a lovely generalised batch to green clothing armour there, and can't help but assume that's potentially go up even higher. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to that, because things are looking pretty sweet. I know prices have been pretty bad as of recent, But I think we're going to start seeing the summer hype pretty quickly, considering that big update is coming out on May 1st. So, yeah, I was questioning, were we going to see the average player count for April go below 100,000? Was it going to ruin the streak of over 100,000 for the past, few months? Well, maybe. We've got so much hype at the moment that it'll probably hold on. And in May time, with the release of the Jungle update, do you reckon we'll see the all-time peak player count get beaten again? Do you reckon the recent 124,000 average player count that we saw for January 2025 being beaten by May 2025? What do you reckon? The stars are aligning, prices are already improving, and I think a lot of people are very, very hyped up for the release of the Jungle update. So, I'm just saying. Now, I've also made some tweets myself, so if I could just quickly go over to here, I've got a lot of people going crazy for some of the things I've shown off in my unboxing video. But I have had 5,000 people see this video showcasing the different sets of green clover and armor tested out in the jungle environment. All of them are insane. Here you go, I've got to show this off. I don't normally get a lot of people reacting or interacting with my stuff on Twitter. I'm being realistic. This has got 36,000 views. I've had a lot of comments. I've had quite a lot of retweets. And here's the golden question, all right? Can you see the 3 people in this image right here? You know what? I will link this in the description so you can go see it for yourself. There's 3 people standing in this picture here. Where are they? You tell me. So yeah, a lot of people are aware, a lot of people are hyped up, and things are looking pretty sweet. Things are lining up very, 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 very nicely. So, all right, I'm positive. I hope you are too. Did you invest into green clothing and armor back in January like I suggested? I hope you did, because you'd probably be very happy right about now. And if you didn't, well, there you go. What else can I say? But yeah, I did mention that back in January time when I was talking about things that very likely could work out very nicely, and what to do with your post-Christmas profits and whatnot. I bought a bunch of flashbacks. Now this has Aztec door. I haven't got this video uploaded yet, but as I said, I compared doors with the brand new building skin, single sheet doors, garage doors. That actually does a very good job pairing up with the brand new jungle building skin. And I haven't even uploaded the video. People saw this on my stream, and it still got bought out. That was selling for about, at best, $1 yesterday. Now, apparently, it's listed at $25. I've got someone in my server who's actually managed to sell theirs for $20. Yep, that happened. So, it's madness. It's absolute madness. But yeah, flashbacks. Just out of pure curiosity, this is the cheapest stuff that you could get that's green. Pants, doing a fair bit better, as you can see here. So this actually only has a more realistic, normal amount. That's 122. It's currently pushing up to $4. That's nice. But Flashback's hoodie has almost 800. Again, you may recall I was buying these out during post-Christmas because I thought, surely it'll be right when the jungle update comes out. Well, we've got 2 weeks to go, so we shall see. But honestly, if you're looking for a nice budget green clothing armor set, the Flashbacks hoodie and pants are a perfect go-to. That is the best, in comparison to Forest Raiders hoodie and pants, that is the best option, and it's not that expensive. I've already done these comparisons in the past. You can look up Hedge green camouflage checks or whatever on YouTube. Just type it in, you'll probably find a video of where I've already done this. It's really good in comparison to Forest Raiders, and it's very affordable. So, well, maybe this not right now, but the hoodie, look at all these listings. What are you doing? The amount of profits these people could get, the amount of profits they could get, but they dump like that. Other people are pretty dumb. There's no other way to explain it. Sorry. Now, I should also point out, in terms of the workshop, we are not expecting any skins to be submitted this weekend, all right? So I will probably be making another video talking about potential skins that might be accepted for Easter week 2. I've got all the bingos in my server. I'll whip out all the cards. I'll talk about what skins people think have a very good chance of potentially being accepted. And yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, overall, we're looking pretty optimistic potentially for certain skins as investments. And we're looking forward to May, because now we know when the jungle update is coming out. And as I said, will we beat the all-time peak player count? Will we potentially beat January's average player count there? We shall see. So thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, if you don't remember the estimated sales for all the skins that we've said today, look in the description, look at the chapters. It's all provided there as well. So all good. Catch you later. Soon goodbye.